The White House is setting expectations low ahead of Monday's virtual meeting between U.S. President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The meeting is expected to focus on managing the terms of competition between the two rivals, but is unlikely to end with resolution of differences. Biden spokeswoman Jen Psaki on Friday said that the two leaders will discuss ways to responsibly manage the competition between the two countries. The U.S. sees China as its strategic competitor, with Beijing seeking to grow its military and economic influence around the world. In the lead up to the meeting, however, rhetoric from both sides has softened. In another positive step, the U.S. and China, who are the world's two biggest emitters of carbon dioxide, unexpectedly announced at last week's COP26 climate summit in Scotland that they would work together to slash emissions and meet regularly to address the climate crisis. Counterterrorism police in Britain are investigating an explosion at a hospital Sunday in the city of Liverpool that killed one person and injured another. Police were called to reports of a blast involving a taxi that pulled up at Liverpool Women's Hospital shortly before the explosion took place Sunday morning. Police said the explosion had not been declared a terrorist incident, but counterterrorism police were leading the investigation as a precaution. Bulgaria's new centrist political party is expected to win parliamentary elections on Sunday, according to 4 exit polls. A win for the We Continue the Change party could signal an end to political deadlock in the European Union's poorest state. Political wrangling prevented opponents of former Prime Minister Boyko Borisov from building a government after the previous 2 elections. Thousands of Tunisians continued protesting against President Kais Saied's seizure of political power 4 months ago in the capital Tunis on Sunday amid heavy security. Protesters briefly clashed with police as they tried to remove barriers separating them and demanded that Saied restore parliament and normal democratic rule. Saied seized nearly all powers in July, suspending the parliament and dismissing the government in a move his critics called a coup, before installing a new prime minister and announcing he could rule by decree. The Tunisian president said his actions were needed to end governmental paralysis after years of political squabbling and economic stagnation. He's promised to uphold rights and freedoms won in the 2011 revolution that brought democracy. His moves have appear to have widespread popularity. Thousands of his supporters gathered for a rally to back him last month, but several prominent politicians have been arrested. Hundreds have faced travel bans. The Qatar-based satellite news network Al Jazeera says its bureau chief in Sudan has been detained by security forces. The network said on Twitter on Sunday that Sudanese forces raided the journalist's home. Al Jazeera did not elaborate. Sudanese officials could not immediately be reached for comment. The development comes a day after security forces fired live ammunition and tear gas to disperse protesters, denouncing the military's tightening grip on the country. Activists say a protester died Sunday of his wounds. That raises the death toll to at least 6. Several people were also wounded. 2 strong earthquakes struck southern Iran near the port of Bandar Abbas on Sunday, prompting residents to flee their homes and killing at least 1 person, according to state television. Iran state TV said the quakes measured 6.3 and 6.4 magnitude. The tremors were felt across the Gulf in Dubai. State TV reported that 1 person died when an electricity pole fell on him. Iran is crisscrossed by major geological fault lines and has suffered several devastating earthquakes in recent years. Its deadliest quake was a 7.4 magnitude tremor that struck northern Iran in 1990. 40,000 people died in that disaster. And wanted Libyan war crimes suspect Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of slain dictator Muammar Gaddafi and once seen as his heir apparent, registered to run Sunday for next month's presidential election. Libya's first ever direct presidential poll has a first round on December 24th.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.